Hello dear children, welcoming you all back to another session of chemistry class 10 chapter 3 metals and non-metals, and this is amazing world of science channel where we teach science for class 10, 11, 12 and 9, and today we are going to already we have finished the first two chapters from class 10 science, and today we are going to start the most important lesson, metals and non-metals, and this is the basics for class 11 and 12. So only if you are very thorough with the basic concepts of metals and non-metals, you will find class 11 portions very easy to follow. Okay, now without wasting much time, we will start with the lesson. So let us start with the introduction first. So already in class 9 you have learnt about various elements, and you have also seen that elements are classified into metals and non-metals on the basis of their properties. So all of you might know what is metal, what is non-metal, and you have also learnt about the uses of metals and non-metals in our daily life, and based on certain properties we categorize or we divide elements into metals and non-metals. So how do you relate the properties to the uses? Now what is the relationship between the properties and uses of elements? So we are now going to learn some of the properties of these elements in detail. So whenever we talk about properties, you know that there are two types, like physical properties and chemical properties. So first, what is physical properties? Based upon the look and certain physical characteristics we determine the physical properties, whereas chemical properties involves with the various chemical reaction based on the reactions of these elements. First of all, we look into the physical properties of metals. So the easiest way how to group substances is basically by comparing their physical properties. Now here, in order to do that, we have got a few activities. I will be giving the answers to these activities as notes in this session. So first of all, here we are collecting the samples of the metals like iron, copper, aluminum, magnesium, sodium, lead, zinc and any other metal which is easily available. So what is the first activity? You take samples of iron, copper, aluminum, magnesium, and then you have to do what? Clean the surface of each sample. You have to rub them with sandpaper. You have seen sandpaper. Sandpaper is a rough, sort of like, looks like cardboard, but it's very hard, and when you rub it, you have to look at their appearance after rubbing them. You can see that if the metals are in their pure state, they will have a shining surface. So this property is called the luster, metallic luster, shining surface. So only metals will have a shining surface. Now we will move on to activity 3.2. So here what do you do is, you take small pieces of iron, copper, aluminum, magnesium and try to cut these metals. You take a knife, try to cut them and find out what happens. And metals are very easy to cut with a knife. You can hold a piece of sodium metal with tongs. Okay, always whenever you handle sodium metal, you have to do with care because it's highly reactive metal. Okay, then you take a filter paper and dry the metal. You put it on a watch glass, and after you try to cut with a knife, you can see that it's very soft, and sodium metal can be easily cut with a knife. Okay, now normally metals are generally very hard, and the hardness will vary from metal to metal. So here sodium, it's an exception, okay, whereas most of the metals are really hard. Now moving on to the next activity, you take pieces of iron, zinc, lead and copper, and you keep any one metal on an iron block. You strike it with a hammer. What can you see here? And you can see that metals can be beaten into thin sheets. That property using which you can beat metal into thin sheet is known as malleability. So you should know that gold and silver are the most malleable metals. They can be easily beaten into thin sheets. See, when you make ornaments and all that, when you use gold, it's very easy. You can make it into any shape, gold and silver. Now, next activity is again consider a few metals like iron, copper, aluminum, lead and all that. And you can see that these metals are available in the form of wires. So, you can easily make wires using these metal. That property is known as ductility. See, from 1 gram of gold you can make about 2 kilometer lengths. Just imagine how easily you can draw that into wires. So, that properties are shown only by metals. The property of ductility is shown by metals. So, some metals are used for cooking vessels and all that, and because metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. And here you have got another activity, like you take an aluminum or copper wire, you clamp this wire here, see, on a stand, here this is the clamp, and you keep a pin on the free end of the wire, use a piece of wax to fix it here. Now gently heat it using a burner. So you can see that this wax will melt and the pin will fall down, because the metals are good conductors of heat and they have got high melting point, and the best conductors of heat are silver and copper, and lead and mercury are comparatively poor conductors. Okay, so normally metals conduct electricity, that is what we understand from this activity. And the next one, you can see that here there is an electric circuit, and you can see that a metal which you are going to test, you have to place it between two clips. You can see a switch in the circuit, a bulb, and this is a battery. Okay, if you insert the metal piece here, you can see that the bulb will glow, because the wires carry current, and here the wires in your home also you can see that they have a coating of polyvinyl chloride, PVC, or a rubber like material, and electric wires are coated with substances. And what happens when you strike a metal on a hard surface, they will produce sound, because that is a property of metal, that is when you strike it they will produce sound, and metals are sonorous. That is why school bells and all are made of metals. Okay, now in our next session we will do study about non-metals. You revise and read this session really well, go through this session. I will be taking only small parts so that you will be finding it very easy to learn. I am not teaching this only for the point of examination in that aspect alone, because you should have the basics of all this. So all of you do just don't simply visit the channel and watch the videos, do really share with your friends, subscribe and like the channel. You can also put your comments as well, and hope you enjoyed the session. I will be coming up soon with the next part like non-metals. I will be uploading it soon. So thanks for watching the video.